Act quickly and get ready for price shock if you're still planning to schedule a holiday vacation or a trip back home to see family. According to airline executives, they anticipate a big demand for flights throughout Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's based on reservations. The best hotel and flight prices, according to travel experts, have already sold out. Many vacationers believe they are being taken advantage of on social media. It makes sense given that official data indicates that October airfares increased 43% from a year earlier and that U.S. airlines posted combined third-quarter profits of more than $2.4 billion. Holly Berg, chief economist for travel data service Hopper, states that fewer flights and more people eager to fly home or take vacation for the holidays means two things: prices will be higher, and we will see flights sell out for both holidays. Yulia Parr is fully aware of what Berg is referring to. For her little son, who is spending Thanksgiving with his grandma in Texas, while Parr sees her husband, who is on active duty in California, the Annandale, Virginia, lady struggled to locate an affordable trip home. On Southwest, she eventually discovered a $250 one-way ticket, but it wouldn't leave until the Tuesday following the holiday. Parr believes she put off booking a flight for too long. In advance of the holidays, accommodation and air travel costs typically increase, and this year was no exception. According to Axel Heger, CEO of German hotel search website Trivago, some European travelers are booking shorter trips as a result. He declared, "Hotel rates are soaring everywhere. You just cut out a day if you want to travel but have the same budget or even a lower budget due to inflation." Another factor driving up costs in hotels is the labor shortage. Glenn Fogel, CEO of Booking Holdings, which owns travel search sites including Priceline and Kayak, says one hotelier told him he can't fill all his rooms because he doesn't have enough staff. Consumers in the United States are currently experiencing the highest inflation in 40 years, and worries about a potential recession are mounting. But the figures on travel don't reflect that. TSA data for October shows that the proportion of passengers passing through airport checks has increased to about 95% of 2019 traffic. Officials from the tourism sector predict that Christmas travel may surpass pre-pandemic levels. Airlines haven't always handled the large crowds well, despite hiring staff to replace those who left after COVID-19 struck. This summer, flight cancellation and delay rates exceeded pre-pandemic levels, causing airlines to postpone plans to increase flight capacity. On the company's earnings call in October, United Airlines Chief Commercial Officer, Andrew Nocella, stated, "We are clearly seeing a lot of strength for the holidays. Our bookings are going good as we get closer to the Thanksgiving period." Pete Buttigieg, the Secretary of Transportation, and airline executives each laid the blame for the summer's widespread flight issues at the other's feet. According to airline CEOs, they are ready for the holiday crowd after hiring more pilots and other employees. Despite the fact that the advice is largely unchanged from prior years, travel experts offer advice on how to save money and avoid being stranded due to a canceled flight. Be aware that smaller airlines have fewer choices for rebooking passengers once a flight is canceled, and look at inexpensive carriers and alternative airports. Reduce your likelihood of a delay or cancellation by flying early in the day. According to Chuck Thaxton, general manager of Airlines Reporting Corporation, a middleman between airlines and travel agencies, if something goes wrong, it tends to progress throughout the day. It becomes a domino effect. The best day of the week to make travel reservations is the subject of many theories. Thaxton asserts that the reason it's Sunday is because airlines cater their offerings to price-conscious customers on Sunday. An anti-corporate advocacy group called Accountable US connected airline cancellations and delays this summer to poor treatment of workers and employment losses caused by the pandemic. According to Jeremy Funk, a spokesman for the organization, but generally speaking, we would say the airline business is not yet at the same level as large food, oil, or retail in terms of blatant profiteering. Brett Snyder, who owns a travel agency and blogs about flying under the name Cranky Flyer, claims that prices are high simply because there are fewer flights now than there were in 2019, despite an increase in demand. Snyder queries, how is it gouging? They don't want to depart, take off, with vacant seats, but they also don't want to dispense with anything for a single dollar. It's fundamental economics. Last week, Krista Pyle and Sheena Hale got up at 3 a.m. and left their home in Northwest Indiana an hour later to catch a 6:25 a.m. flight to Chicago. After the aircraft touched down in Dallas, where Krista was competing in a cheer competition, Hale exclaimed, "We are exhausted. Because the early flights were so much less expensive, we got going early. The cost of flights is way too high. They won't be traveling for Christmas. We don't need to go anywhere." Hale declared, "We're staying at home with family."